first click here, then click this, then click this, because I
Yep.
was trying to write them as I'm like doing stop action with you
Oh yeah. So
on
you're
the
talking, are
video.
you talking about with the Facebook ads?
Yeah, I was doing stop action with you. We watching your
Oh,
videos,
okay.
saying, okay,
Yeah.
I'm writing down, click this, then
That
click
would be a great
this, and
thing to do. And ChatGPT makes that so much easier too. So I might just ask ChatGPT to put it together so that I can have that step by step for you. Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to find the time because I've been doing so many different events. But yeah, that would be a great thing to do as well.
'cause I know you have so many different scenarios and things in there, and I'm trying to
And
say, okay,
part
first
of the
click
problem
this,
is
then
that
click this,
things
then click this.
change. Yeah, part of the problem is that things do change so much with those things that by the time I put like a step by step with screenshots, it could end up getting out of sync pretty quickly. So, but I'll do my best. I'll try to see if I can't spend some time with once I've got
It
a
have
couple
to
more
really be
things done.
screenshots, if that could be like I said, change, but just say like, go to this
Yep,
thing, tab this on
yep.
left side, then click this, then go here. Like it's just sort of like a kind of step by step.
Yeah, that I will do my best to try to pull that together for you and upload it to that Facebook group.
And I'm sure there's some other people that need that also.
Yeah, yeah. So welcome everyone. I am live here on Zoom for those of you who are watching my stream on Facebook on YouTube. If you want to join me, then live here, go to aprilcox.com/Zoom and you'll be redirected and you can come and join us live. Would love to have you. And for those of you who are in my Facebook group, my Learn to Self-Publish with April Cox Facebook group, then please do feel free to join us. Hop on and be here live, or you can post questions, and I will be trying to monitor and making sure that I can answer your questions. If you have anything specific that you would like us to cover today for a topic, feel free to post that in the chat or post it here on YouTube and we'll get started. But earlier today we had a couple of things that we were chatting about. So I'll just start there. First, we had a session with Lawrence O'Brien from Books Go Social, and he talked about avatars and the importance of really understanding your avatar, your perfect reader. And we had a great presentation from our mastermind group. So if you are a part of my mastermind and you haven't had a chance to watch that, it was a very good episode. And we could certainly continue some of those discussions. One of the things that Lawrence was suggesting is that we do really good research with about our target audience. Things like what themes, do your competitors' books cover? What kinds of information do you know about your target audience? What are the themes that speak to them? And what are the competitor books out there for the particular one that you're releasing, and really getting deep into some research. So I'm happy to talk more about that, or even take an example from one of you that are joining me here live, and we can go through some of that, maybe just do a little bit of research and taking a look at your messaging, taking a look at your listing, and seeing whether or not we need to make some tweaks to better appeal to your target audience. The other thing that we talked about during that session was ads, and that using that information from your research for Amazon ads and Facebook ads and things like that, finding out where are you looking for, or where is your target audience hanging out? Are they on Facebook? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they on YouTube? And being able to target your ads, target your messaging, and even doing like testing of your messaging so that you can really dial in and understand more about what resonates and what converts well with your audience. So that is part of the conversations we had earlier today. We also talked a little bit about results from those that are doing my Amazon ads group with me. We are on we've gone through 3 weeks so far out of 12, and we're already, I've had one person raise their hand earlier today and say, I'm getting about 3 orders a day and I wasn't getting anything before. So the Amazon ads, some of the things that we've been learning already are we're seeing some changes in visibility, so more impressions. And for one author who has an adorable flamingo book, she's seeing 3 orders a day. And I was like, that is fantastic, because usually it takes a month or so to start seeing some changes. So I've been sharing some of my tips, some tricks that I've learned through years of managing managing Amazon ads with authors of children's books. And it's a different animal. It's a different beast than managing ads for other types of novels, adult books, and things like that. Things that work well when you have a series of, lots and lots of adult novels don't work as well when you've got a single or small number of children's books. So lots of, things that I can share and talk about there as well. And we still have the ability for folks to become a part of like a passive group, which basically I'm taking this pilot group of 5 people at a time, and I'm going through a very hands-on small group session teaching these Amazon ads. But I did open up seats for people that just want to be passively participate and to get the training and get all of the recordings and materials. So that I don't have to expand my small group sessions, but you still have access to those ads. And it's very cheap. It's $49 for 12 weeks worth of training, and they're 90-minute sessions. You get all of the materials. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you can still sign up and go back and watch some of the pre-recorded sessions for those first 3 weeks, and then participate live, because I'm basically just streaming those sessions live into that Facebook group. For anybody that is a passive participant, you'll have the same access to all the materials, all the training itself, without being physically there with me for that small group coaching. So that's another, I'm happy to answer any questions on that as well. And we can go wherever you want to go as far as other questions or things that you'd like to chat about. So anybody have any questions you'd like to get started with?
I could use some advice.
Okay. Happy to.
I'm going to preface all my comments by saying I really haven't been paying that much attention to my Amazon ads, but
Okay.
I will. The 3 picture books, the series I've written, deals with a little trolley called a dinky, little trolley. And the title of the book is Delmar the Dinky. But if someone goes to search for a trolley book, it's not going to go to my book. And most people don't know what a little dinky is. I did not, and this was, I think, my mistake. I should have put a subtitle, I think, the story of a little trolley. That way it would have driven more to Amazon. In your opinion, I know I can change the ebook. That can be done.
Right.
I can put a subtitle on the ebooks. I cannot on the others. So I either have 2 options. One, I think less expensive, and the other is to change the covers of the books, to change the cover and insert that subtitle, the story of a little trolley, or just have some really good keywords for Amazon ads that would maybe take the people to that website. I really do believe, Amazon is, a lot of people don't agree, but it really is the place I think, for self-published authors to sell their books. And it's
Right.
important that you have ads to drive traffic to
Mhm.
that book. And that's why I'm so glad you've got this course that you can passively participate.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what would you suggest? And what do you think ballpark figure it would cost me to have a cover redone? Or should I just focus
Yeah,
on
so
ads?
there's another option that you might not have considered, right? Because you've got now 3 books in your series.
Mhm.
Have you considered doing anything with video as far as a video ad goes?
No, I haven't.
This is one of the secrets that I've been sharing during my Amazon ad sessions.
Mhm.
Amazon ads, we used to have to you guys used to have to come to me with my special advantage program, and I had capabilities to run video ads for people, but authors couldn't run them themselves. That has all changed. Now Amazon has pushed that out, and you now have the ability to run a video ad. So one of the things that would be really helpful is to take, whether it's your first book in the series, whichever one you'd like to focus on, and you remember Amy Weaver? I always recommend her from WeCom, right?
Yeah.
All you need is it has to be less than 45 seconds
Mhm.
of a video trailer.
Okay.
Think about what is wonderful about this book, right? If you're talking to me, your target reader, I've got a 3 or 4-year-old little boy, 5-year-old boy who loves trucks, trains, trolleys, anything with wheels. Maybe that's your target audience, but really think about who is your target audience. Why should I buy this book for my little grandson? Tell me, what do they get? What do they learn? And what's special about the book? And if you can come up with just a few things and show the beautiful interior images, show your beautiful cover, highlight a few really special things about your book, and then also make sure that you're saying things like, using the word trolley and using the word trains, and for kids that love things that go, you're going to learn. And there's a lot of kind of there's, with your books, it's more of like a cross between the little engine that could and Thomas the Tank Engine, and like lots of things that should really appeal to little ones. But we need to make a case for that. And one of the reasons why I think video ads are so amazing is, first of all, there is not a lot of competition right now. So very few people are running video ads because, number one, they don't even know that they can run video ads. Number two, even if they do know that they can run them, now they have to go and find somebody that can do a really nice video ad for them, and then create the specs the way that they should, and then upload and run the video ad and target everything appropriately. So there's a little bit of like a barrier to getting a video ad put together. But what I've seen as a result of that is higher performance, higher click-through rate, lower bid amounts, and a really good ACOS.
So that might be a suggestion then.
That's one. And
then
that
redoing the
can
cover.
really help you to pull those things together. The other type of ad that would be really good to run would be a brand ad, because now you've got 3 books. So you can I'm going to just share my screen here for a moment.
Actually, I think I have a brand ad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it because you have to have an image or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that's okay, because you can take one of the really beautiful images from your interior and you can use that. And you can even put the word, learn about this little trolley, one little trolley, or what is a dinky? It's a little trolley, or something like that. Like, you can create a video, a link to it. So if we go to Amazon.com, I'm just going to go here to books about trolleys. Let's just see if if there's anything about trolleys or and probably people are searching more about for trains and things like that. Oh golly, Miss Trolley. So I would be also looking for other books that either are relatively new or are ranking, you know, selling well, dealing with the topic, or also remember people like Daniel Tiger and Thomas the Tank Engine, and those are going to love your book. So targeting them, but let's scroll down for a moment and see if I can find a video ad. On this topic, nobody who's doing trolley stuff is running videos. Let's try just children's books and see what happens here. So I can just show you what I mean about the types of ads. So this one here across the top is a brand ad. It doesn't have a third book. It's probably out of stock or something, and that's why it's not showing there. But normally you're not able to even run these types of ads without 3. I'm just gonna see children's books for ages 4 to 8. Let's just see if I can come up. I want this to refresh so I can actually show you the kind of ad that you should be doing. Okay, so here's a regular ad. It doesn't include, this is a brand ad. Again, what I love about these brand ads is that they're across the top. That's one. And you mentioned, Pat, that it requires now a nice image over here. So you'll see some of the newer ones. I think it's as of the beginning of next month, they're going to be required. These ads will stop serving up, and you're going to get and if you don't update your ad and have like an image here, and then it has three books across. So that image can really tell a lot. That's wonderful to see that we are able to add an additional image that provides context. Maybe it provides a little information about the series. It clarifies something like what a dinky is, right? That kind of thing can be really good. And it shows at the top. So that would be another type of ad that's really good for you. Let me just scroll down and let's see if we can find, here you go. Look at that video ad. So it's moving. And this is really just showing some interior things. Mr. Green's Adventures in the World of Plants and Flowers. So this is all it is. It's a video trailer, and then it shows here. But one thing I love about these video ads is it just like stops. You have to stop and see like what's it going to say next, right? It stops the scroll because number one, it's really big and it moves, and it's just different than what other books that you're looking at. So let's see if we scroll down a little more. Usually there's like 2 or 3 video. Here's another one, but look, same video. Why? Not many people are running video ads. So the people that are running them are getting multiple exposure on the same page. There's a lot less competition for these until people catch on that these are really good to do. This one, the Green Adventures.
About what do they cost, April, to run a video ad?
To run it, you mean? Or
I mean, to have one made.
Yeah, so if you go with the recommendation of Amy Weaver at WeCom, so you get to decide, do you want a really simple one that's relatively inexpensive, which is just doesn't have a lot of animation. It just kind of scrolls through one after another after another. That's, you can probably get away with a $50 spend. If you want a really nice animated one, let me see if I can find one that that she did. If I search for one of the books that I know she created one for, it's there's animation, there's like lightning and thunder and all kinds of stuff happening and sound. For this book, she did one. I'm just going to see if they have his video, if he's still running videos on it, because I know we created a beautiful ad for that. I'm not seeing it here.
I think you just passed it. I think it was up higher. I think you scrolled past it.
Yeah, the video ad itself.
Is that one, the single picture of the girl, I think is it. Isn't that the ad right there?
No, that's a different book.
Different book.
Oh, okay.
It's got the same name as that book, but it's a different, let me see. Science. Let's go. A lot of the, oh, here we go. Fun and amazing facts for books. So you see how this can be a very simple thing. You can even do yourself. Like Canva has video, like, you know, you can put together some different like little animations. This is something probably Canva could create. You could create it yourself, or you can create a real, and which would cost nothing, or you can create one that's really just show stopping, right? So I would go based on your budget, but I really love the ads that are a little more animated, that will show a lot more of your book, and you know, maybe it's got some pages turning, but there's some great things you can do with it. And if you let your designer know how much budget you have to work with, then they can find the very best way to move forward with that within that budget.
Well, it really does make a book stand out.
Oh gosh, it does.
You know,
and there's not very many people that are doing it.
And they always place the video ad, what you just showed.
Yes.
They always place the ad right next to the ad for the book.
All of this area is all yours with a video ad. You get all of that area, and they're cheaper. The cost per click is cheaper. And if somebody is not interested in your book, they're not going to click on it. So if you show enough for people to know whether or not it's for them or not, they're not going to click on it if they're not interested in what you've shown. If it does interest them, and then they go to your listing and then you lose them, well, then there's some disconnect you got to figure out. But I think that's why these perform so well.
So that might be a better option than redoing covers.
I think so.
Okay.
And the other thing I would do, if you decide, you know what, I really need to inject maybe a little bit of a redesign or something with a cover. The other thing you might want to consider is maybe it's time for a version 2 of your book. And that would require you to get a new ISBN, right? Or assign one that you already have, right? And then you do a re-release of the second version of your book. It gets treated like a brand new book release. It gets that 30 days of love from Amazon. You inherit all of your same reviews that you already have, and it can inject a lot of extra attention. And now that you have more than just the one book, you've got 3 books, you're starting to get to that point where they're going to start selling one another.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Vicki, did you have a question?
I'm just learning today. I think this is wonderful information. Yeah.
Perfect. No problem.
Look at the sound button that was on the ad.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You want me to go back to it?
See the sound button that's on the bottom there, right? Is that like a music button, or is that a narrative?
It's just music, just little slight music.
Okay, so I know there was a big thing about, I forget which workshop was on, was yours or somebody else's, that any kind of stuff that you have, that if you don't get permission with copywriting,
yeah, you would definitely
that
want
Amazon can take it off and everything is then muted on your stuff.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to use any kind of music that's not public domain or anything that has a copyright. But there are places where you can make sure that the music that you are including is, and people that create these videos, they usually are very in line with that. But when you upload your video, Amazon will immediately tell you, sorry, this it has a copyright to it. They even identify, they know that there's that music is not allowed.
Even
it
if
doesn't
there had be
usually go
music
live
on there,
first.
or you can do a narrative of what, talking about your
You
book. I
could,
don't
but
know which
I would
was
just say I would much rather see the
the words.
information here, because most people are not going to be listening to the videos. They're just going to be,
Mhm.
and so it needs to have some movement. It needs to have some information, and some cute images or whatever is going to speak directly to your audience, your target audience. But that's I wouldn't rely on sound. It's a nice extra, thing to have, but I wouldn't make it so that people have to put the sound on in order to hear it. As a matter of fact, I think that's one of Amazon's requirements, is that you don't rely only on sound, that there's something else there besides sound. Okay. Are you doing anything yet, Denise, with video ads?
No. In fact, I'm interviewing developmental editors right now, and
Okay, okay.
gathering up top titles, and I'm doing a lot of legwork right now.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, great.
I have a question, and that is if you have, it's about ages that you put down for
Mhm.
children, 4 to 8 seems to pop up all the time. Can you do 5 to 9? Is there a way, or is it specific?
I
That-
think that Amazon themselves has things broken down in certain ways. So let me just quickly share my screen again, because I'm just pulling it up over here. I see, children's books age range, right? It's got baby to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12. And then if you want to include a larger age group, I've seen a lot 3 to 7 and 4 to 8. So you can put whatever age group that you think fits. I would try not to go too wide, because 0 to 18 is quite a lot of different, right? A lot of people are like, oh, it's for everybody and it's for all ages. But, there's quite a big difference between what a toddler would want and somebody, a child that's in 2nd grade or 3rd grade are very different. So these age groups here are meant, and that's how Amazon kind of categorizes some things. That might be a good one to look at and see, if your book really is geared toward the higher ended, then make it 6 to 8. I do like the 4 to 8, because I feel like the 4-year-olds are interested in the same things that the 8-year-olds are, but maybe you're reading to them versus them reading themselves. And it's still the picture book age group. Same thing with 3 to 7. That's like, it's a little bit more like the trolley train that Pat was talking about, the little dinky books. The toddlers and 3 to 7, I think would love those books, or maybe 3 to 5. So you just decide what it is you want to settle on, and then ensure that all of your books that are in that series have the similar age groups listed for consistency purposes. And if you're not sure, you can always ask some of your focus group or your target audience. Ask some of your followers, what age group do you think this is for? Because sometimes you're able to go, even though a parent would see, for example, 3 to 5, they might know, oh, my 2-year-old would love this, and I'll read it to them. And especially if they're always reading to their child, or my 8-year-old would love this because of the topic. So I think parents are smart enough to know that it's just a guideline, and that some younger and older kids will still enjoy it, depending on their level, their reading level and competency. All right. I'm going to stop that. Let me see if we've got any questions here on YouTube. Okay, nothing yet. And for those of you that are watching online, feel free to join us on the live program if you're interested. It is aprilcox.com/Zoom. So you can come and join us on the Q&A live with us on Zoom. So one of the things that came up earlier today with the mastermind session and talking about avatars, we talked also a little bit about the value of connecting with your target audience and how do you connect with your target audience. So I'm thinking that could be a really good conversation here, and would love to hear more from you about how you are connecting and really building that relationship and growing the that connection and relationship to your audience. And I'm happy to talk a little bit about how I'm doing it with my authors, but would love, from your perspective, Denise, do you have anything specific that you're doing with your books and to be able to really serve that audience of yours?
I'm not exactly sure what you're meaning in terms of what he was doing with the avatars, but I had used AI
Mm-hmm.
in the chat GPT, and I plugged in what my book was and who my book was for.
Yep.
And I put in some specifics about a child and the child's language and reading abilities.
Oh, nice.
And I had it create for me an ideal reader.
That's
And
amazing.
it spit out what my ideal reader would be. It gave it an age, a sex, a whole description, family dynamics.
And did it do a good job based
Yeah,
on?
I was surprised. It really did. It did a very good job.
Okay. So have you given any thought to how to connect and how to find more of those ideal readers?
Well, for years now, there is a program called Donors Choose,
Mm-hmm.
which gives money to schools, to specific teachers to buy supplies for their classrooms. So I sponsor a school near me. So I donate to their preschool to second grade classrooms, the different classrooms. The teachers put up certain projects that they need money for to fund.
Ah,
So that's how I use my charitable donations on my taxes. Is I
okay.
donate to Donors Choose and I pick those classrooms for the money to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I am developing a relationship with those teachers
I love
over the
that.
years.
Yeah, so you've been connecting and growing, and so by having shared values and displaying that, are you also showing people that you are doing this? Like, are you using information and encouraging others to do the same?
Yes,
Or
because you
teaching
can go
stuff?
on Facebook and
Nice.
there's a little tab link. You can then have it go to Facebook or wherever you want it to go to and say that I've donated to Donors Choose, join me, donate to your local school or your favorite teacher,
Nice.
that kind of thing.
I like that. Yep, that's great. Perfect. Any other ideas from some of the authors that are with us today?
I was reading about donating to the library your book, or give a book copies, or maybe to a classroom or a school to go in their library. Do you know anything about that?
I mean, that's a way to connect with specific schools, and especially if you're going to be doing an author visit there, it might be a great way of saying, I'm going to come in and I'm going to read to the kids, and by the way, I'm leaving you with 3 books for your library. Things like that I think could be really wonderful. I have a lot of book donations and things like that I do focus on. I don't really talk about it that much, and maybe I should do more to encourage others and to connect with that target audience. Vicki, what is the audience? Tell us about the books that you have and what your target audience is for that book.
Okay, my book is coming, so it's not.
Okay, so it's in progress.
It's in
Okay.
progress, right? And so it will be for children who are 4 to 8,
Mhm,
basically even up to 9, because one of the characters is 9 years old.
mhm.
And it's for a group of children who interact, a family of children going on different adventures. So it is for them and working out their problems day to day. And so it is for MOPS, parents who go to MOPS. It is for um, homeschool organizations. It would be, it could be for schools. And so I'm exploring and I'm listening and learning.
Okay, that's wonderful. And I think it might be a good example for us to do a little bit of that research. Would it be okay if we kind of took your example and see if we can
Yes.
do a little bit of that research online together? Let's just spend a little bit of time. I've got about 15 or 20 minutes here, but let's see if we go to Amazon. And you said the word MOPS. What is MOPS?
It's an organization for mothers of preschool children.
Oh, okay.
And then the organization grows, so it's for children in elementary school as well.
Okay. Let's see about children's books for preschoolers. So some of the stuff that we can look for, we can, search for, think about our target audience and think about what they might search for. Children's books for 6-year-old, right? I mean, some of this is just kind of thinking about how do they search for some of the things that they're looking for. Certainly 6-year-olds might get started reading some of these early chapter books and Magic Tree House and things like that. But if you said yours is starting around age 3.
Well,
3 to
not really. No, it would be more
4.
for of 5 to 9 is what I'm gearing for.
Okay. So
Okay.
are they doing like early readers, or is it a picture book?
But they're not, it is a collection of stories, and so it's a treasury of
Oh,
stories.
that's right. I remember now. Children's picture book collection. Let's look at collections. Because I think that some people love the idea of having collections of books. Here's a treasury. So that word treasury we see coming up. So what I'm looking at here now is some themes. Like, let's look at subtitles. Let's look at themes that we see commonly that come up. 20th century children's book. So the word treasury is something that I'm seeing more often. The word read aloud and picture books, stories. Let's see. Fairy tale classics. These are just as like a bundle of books. Let's see. Collection, questionnaires, picture book collection. So these are box sets. So that's not exactly the same. Let's see. Box sets.
I Googled, or I did the search, and it was storybook treasury, and I used virtues and friendship, and I was surprised what I came up with.
Storybook treasury, virtues, and what was the other one?
Friendship.
Friendship. Okay. So starting to come through and see, oh, there we go. Look at this ad at the top. So remember how we said these ads are changing now? So this is like this nice big image over here. And it can be anything, Pat. It can be the interior of one of your books. And one of the things that I love, do you see what's happening here? What is it doing? It's moving. So when you have these brand ads now, you can put just one book, but you can also put one image, but you can put multiple images in there that just scroll. So there you've got more movement. And this is, again, a brand ad. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to bring attention to that because we were talking about it earlier. So yes, we've got 20th century book treasury. Sound book treasury, children's book of virtues. So collection of stories, picture books, collection of stories. I feel like there's not quite there yet. Because when you and I had met earlier one-on-one, I think we found some, let's see, story collection. 100. Oh, there was one of the ones that we kept seeing over and over again was 5-minute stories. 5-minute stories where it was another common theme that we kept seeing. And yeah, stories for 4-year-olds, collection of stories, and it gives the age group, storybook collection. So as we're kind of going through some of this and we find things that might be similar to yours. So let's just say this, well, this is HarperCollins, so maybe not. Let's look at this one, the children's book treasury. One of the things that I would be doing to kind of do your research is looking at the ratings and for feedback. What do people like about the story? What are they raving about over here about this storybook? What are the things that they don't quite like that they're raising attention that you could learn from? So maybe let's look at the 3-star here. Great titles, illustrations are smushed in, right? So you're going to want to let the story breathe. Pictures are too small to enjoy. So do you see how you can kind of learn a little bit about what your target audience is looking for? Book appeared to be a little shop worn. That's a little bit different. A lot of great stories in here, but they only gave it 3 stars. Illustrations are pretty small in places, and it takes away from the story to have multiple pages printed in one spread. So you can see that there are some things here that you're going to want to make sure you don't make that same mistake, right? Some of these same people that love this kind of a treasury are going to love yours. So, but also take a look at the ones that are raving about something. This one says it's a great value. Ton of quality books I remember reading as a child. So quality stories, classic stories. It's an anthology that with many stories you don't find elsewhere. So unique stories. The fact that some of them are comfortable themes that they loved from their childhood and things like that. 8 times, bought 8 times as a gift. I love it enough that I've bought it as a new baby gift multiple times. So, I mean, that might give you a little bit of a hint as to your target audience. If they love, what you create is high quality, and that it is very giftable, especially grandparents or new baby gifts. So you might even want to think about that when you're putting some of your messaging together. Great for a new baby gift or a baby shower gift. New parents, welcome gift for the baby. All right. So, and this one says every parent or grandparent of young children should have this book. Great. All of these are verified, but you can read a little bit and find out why. What do they love about it? And what am I competing with? Because you want to be doing this with some of these stories that are truly selling really well. How did I know this one was selling really well? Look at how many reviews it has, right? So I would be looking at the number of reviews, and the fact you can also look at the ASIN, the ranking, the bestseller ranking at the bottom here. It says it's 32,000 in books. So if it's under 40,000, then that's good. That's really healthy performance. Now, it's not a bestseller, but you can also see one of the other places you might want to do a little research on is what categories does this end up being listed in, because this is a competitor book of yours. You might want to look at things in children's short story collections, short story anthologies, children's classics, right? So I'm just going to open this up in a new tab. It also gives you an opportunity to look at some of these other short story collections, right? 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds, lots of short story collections that you can also do more research on and get. And the other thing that I like to do also is I'm scrolling through this category, and yeah, there are some outliers. This book here is like one of these things is not like the others, right? Remember those days of what was it, Sesame Street or something? Yeah, so these others are very similar, and you've got some themes going on. You always find these weird outliers, but 5-minute stories, 2-minute stories, 5-minute Easter stories, right? So you've got a lot of common themes. You can see sometimes you'll, in certain niches, cover colors of covers. Maybe it's just like, for example, in fantasy genres with like young adult fantasies, there are certain tropes that you see a lot. And if your book is in this genre and you're not doing something that would be expected by those fans, then you might be losing an opportunity. So you just want to see if there's anything like that that you need to be considering. And I would probably take some of your favorite covers that are performing really well. So stories for 3-year-olds, maybe take a look at, and I would click here and do save image as, and save it on your computer. And you can put it on Canva along with some others, so that when it's your turn to create your cover, you can kind of see like, okay, if I put mine right in the middle, does it belong? Does it stand out? Can you see things? Does it feel like it goes with this genre? Those kinds of things are going to be really important as well. So lots and lots of research that you can do here, and going into some of these other categories. And like I said, there's lots and lots of opportunity here. If you've got enough books that are doing well, if you've got 3 or 4 books that are under 40,000, that means that there's enough demand for this kind of book that there's room for competition, that it's one of those popular niches. Now, if you are looking at your niche and you're seeing, 100,000 or more, and you don't see a lot of books that are at less than the 40,000 for ranking, then it's probably not a very popular niche, and it's not going to do very well with sales typically, because if others haven't broken into it, it's very difficult for another book to be all of a sudden, to skyrocket when no other book in that genre is doing well. Okay, so a lot of times this type of research can help you determine whether or not to write the particular book that you are thinking about writing, or what kind of stories or what kind of genre that you're writing in. I have one author, regenerative farming books for kids. So we had, I had no idea that regenerative farming was even a thing. I had no clue. But as we are looking at this stuff now, she's got 71 reviews. But how are these books? And you can see here, there's multiple regenerative farming books focused on regeneration and farming and growing your own food kind of things. But I had no clue that this was even a thing. And I would be looking here, this is over 100,000 in books. Well, what about some of the others? Are they doing better than that? If you can't find a few, this is A Kid's Guide to Regenerative Architecture, Agriculture. 5 reviews, probably not doing very well. This one, The Regenerative Farmer, 3 reviews, very relatively brand new niche. So if the author, here says Farming by Gail Gibbons, but if an author came to me and said, this is an idea I have, I'm gonna write about this, and she hadn't done the research, so here, 70,000. Again, there's just no books doing well here. So if we had to estimate how well her book would do, a new book would do in this category, probably not going to break a 40,000 or really get to be selling in the way that we need it to sell on Amazon anyway. So some people are so passionate about a topic, they would say, I don't care because people need to know about this. I'm writing the book because there's not enough people talking about it. That's okay, as long as you go in with eyes wide open, knowing that you are, breaking into a new niche and you're working towards trying to get more knowledge about this topic. So interesting, as you start doing your research, take a look at some of that. Do you have, and Pat, I'm sure when we look at things about trolleys and trains, I'm sure we can find lots of them doing really well, but we haven't, it's been a while since you and I looked at that stuff. So that's another thing it might be worthwhile to see how well are they selling right now.
That's good advice. And I'm going to do some research and then book some time with you.
Yeah. And what you might find out is the ones that sell really well might be highlighting certain types of themes. So if you do some research and you find the ones that are really floating to the top and selling really well, they focus on the emotional aspect of it versus some other aspect of adventure, or some humorous books focus on humor, and others are just animals and fun. But is there any correlation in the approach you take to talking about the book and the focus on the emotions versus on adventure or on just fun animals or seek and find kind of things? Just look and see if there's anything there that you can learn from the ones that are kind of rising above the rest.
Great advice.
Great
Awesome.
advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, any final questions here before I close down for the night?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
All
helpful.
right. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for joining me today. And I'll be back on Monday for the Amazon ads. So if you have not yet signed up and you are interested in going and checking out the training that I have there, go to selfpubmadesimple.com, and then you can do upcoming events, and you will see Monday's session, and you'll be able to purchase the ability to get into that passive training as well.